Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is based off of the series of children's books by Alvin Schwartz, which, yes, I have read as a child. As the title suggests, they are more of a collection of scary stories inspired by folklore and urban legends, and tied together by the infamously unsettling artwork by Stephen Gamble. The movie is one story, written by Guillermo del Toro, that ties together some of the more popular stories in the collection. In it, a group of teens find a book where an angry spirit is writing scary stories that come true as they are being written. It is directed by Andre Overdahl, who also did the excellent hidden gem horror films Troll Hunter and The Autopsy of Jane Doe. One of the things that most drew me to this movie, aside from the nostalgia, was the involvement of Del Toro not only as a writer, but as a producer as well. And as expected, a lot of detail went into the design of the monsters to make them true to the illustrations, and Overdahl's tense direction makes for some great horror sequences. Critics have been hyping this up as a sort of introduction for kids to horror, and while it probably will be much scarier to younger viewers than to seasoned horror vets, I'm not completely sure whether or not kid-friendly is the right word. I mean, it's not like it's inappropriate for children, but it does fall into the category of hard PG-13, especially for something based on a children's book. I think it's really only slightly more of a children's introduction to horror than any other PG-13 horror movie. I don't even think that there were any kids in the theater I saw it in, and the trailers before certainly weren't kid movie trailer material. There were some surprisingly violent things before the movie. It's basically like this. The It Chapter 2 trailer has somebody slitting his or her wrist. Family entertainment. The Once Upon a Time in Hollywood trailer has somebody saying the F word just one time.
Hey, you're Rick fucking Dalton. Don't you forget it.
That's just unacceptable. Put a red band on that thing, you perv. But anyway, back to the movie. Just because it may or may not be more for younger viewers, that's not to say that there isn't anything for older viewers as well. There were a few moments where I felt not really terrified, but maybe somewhat unnerved. After all, PG-13 doesn't necessarily have to mean toned down, even for the horror genre. The scenes where the scary stories unfold are the high points. They have a few jump scares, but fortunately don't rely on them as much as tension and atmosphere, both of which are effectively creepy. However, the scenes that tell the actual story are not as interesting. Also, a few of the lines are pretty cheesy. Nothing about this movie really breaks any new ground. It's pretty much standard stuff for modern day mainstream horror, but it does that really well. It is creepy, though not really terrifying, and I guess it could be somewhat of a gateway into adult horror. Let's hope that there's a sequel where they adapt the Viper. But when she opened the door, there stood a little old man with a bucket and a cloth. "I am the Viper," he said. "I wish to wash and wipe the windows." That's some horrifying shit right there.